Hi guys, so in today's video I wanna update you about the Life Manager I shared with you before, which I was using for the past almost 2 months. So there is an update for it. It is a very good update, I believe. The idea is this. So for those who don't know the Life Manager I shared, I'm gonna briefly talk about it. So this Life Manager is based on 4 pillars. So these pillars are the way that you look at your life or your day. The first one is to define your goals, maybe for the next month, something like this. Then you will daily set tasks and track them. Also, you will have 2 calendars. The first calendar is for the upcoming events, and the second calendar is for the past event or for the past notes that you decided to keep, which may remind you of something you accomplish or something you need to reference in the future. So this is the idea of it. This whole system was hosted in an application called Notion. But after a few days, to be honest, I decided to take off the daily tasks from Notion and use an application called Google Tasks. It is a very famous application. Why I prefer to set my daily tasks outside of Notion? Because using this app is more flexible and more easy. So for example, when I was waking up first in the morning, the thing I'm going to do is to write down a couple of tasks, maybe 7 or maybe even 18 tasks, that will define the structure of my day. For example, tasks are things like working on this type of design for my client, or eat your lunch, or go to the local library, or practicing home workout, and so on. When it comes to these kind of tasks, some of them was achieved and others was abandoned. And during the day, I was adding new tasks and even changing the order. So it is a very flexible tasks-based systems. But there was a lack in it. The problem was that you don't have a clear idea on which time you should take a break. Because if, let's say, you wake up early and you start working on the hardest task during your day, after a couple of hours, maybe 2 hours, you will need a mental break. I'm talking about the mental break, to be honest. And what I was doing, I was going to Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube and scroll and see some videos to refresh. So you will kind of follow your feelings. Whenever you feel mentally exhausted, you will go and scroll or waste time in doing another thing. Even for the physical break, which I'm talking here about taking a nap, I didn't have a clear time for when I should take a nap. I know that taking a nap should be between Dhuhr and Asr, but sometimes I take it very late, so close to Asr, and I'm gonna miss praying Asr at the right time. And I may take a nap that lasts for 2 hours instead of just 30 minutes because the timing was bad. But in the past few days, I luckily stumbled upon an interesting YouTube video in which they introduced to me a new way to look at how I should set my daily tasks. So we all pray. We all know that we have 5 daily prayers, starting from Fajr to Isha. The idea they introduce is to make these 5 daily prayers, I mean the time of them, as the point of reference in which you will take a break. So instead of thinking about going to pray Dhuhr or Asr as a separate task or a task, one of the daily tasks, you look at it as the time for you to take a mental break. The reasons are this. So first of all, for us men, we better go and pray at mosque. So when you pray at mosque instead of praying at home, for people like me who spend most of their time working at home, when it comes to socializing with people and being aware of what is changed in the environment outside, going to pray at mosque will help in solving this type of problem. Plus, when you go to pray, you will walk, and by walking, I mean you will work out. So this will help the body. Another thing is, we all know that when you pray, you will get rid of the negative energy. Also, when, for example, you have a bad day or something bad happened to you or whatever, when you go to pray and you connect with Allah, you will remember that Allah will help you. So you will ask Allah for help and for forgiveness, and you will remember that this life isn't that big of a deal because there is the afterlife. So as you can see, mentally and physically, you will view the time of praying as the time to take a break and refresh and reboot. This perspective is interesting, to be honest. I was always looking for a way to look at times of praying in this way, and by doing so, when it comes to setting your tasks, so instead of thinking about your task should be in the morning or in the afternoon or at night, you will now look at the tasks between prayers. So I will do this type of tasks after Fajr or after Dhuhr or after Isha and so on. Also, when it comes to the nap, you will clearly have a point of reference. So you go to pray Dhuhr at mosque, then you come back home, you eat lunch, or maybe you eat lunch before Dhuhr, it is your preference. The idea is to take a nap, a 30-minute nap after praying Dhuhr. Obviously, I will put the link for this YouTube video in the description. It is an Arabic video, it is not in English. So in this video, they talked about this type of argument I introduced to you right now. But the thing that is lacking in this video is how to, let's say, to add this mindset to the daily life manager. So this is what I want to share with you today. First of all, this is the old life manager I shared with you before. As I said, there is 4 pillars: tasks, goals, events, and notes. The new one that I'm going to share with you is this one, Life Manager version 2. Here, I put an example. I'm going to explain to you after a while. The template you will have will look like this. It should be empty. So there is also tasks, goals, events, and notes, but the tasks are changed in the way we view them. So the reference points are these, the ones you can see right here. They start with the time you wake up. Then we'll have the praying times, which are Fajr, Duha, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. Then the end of your day, which should be the time you prefer to sleep at. So obviously it is preferable for you to have a definite time for you to wake up and a definite time for you to go to sleep. This is the system. Now I'm gonna explain to you how to use it. So as you can see, here I give you an example for how I wish or I aim to make my daily schedule look like. So this is, let's say, the dream or the perfect scenario for me. I'm gonna explain it to you after a while. Then I'm gonna share with you the realistic scenario in which how I'm spending this exact day. Let's start talking about the perfect scenario for me. By sharing this with you, I think I'm gonna give you an idea for how to define your daily schedule too. So the first thing you should define is the start time in which you will wake up. For me, I prefer to start my day at 5 a.m., which is 30 minutes before Fajr. If you, for example, prefer to start your day at 4 a.m. or at 8, you can just click on this and change this right to wherever you like. For me, I prefer 5 a.m. Then there is the prayers. Fajr, the Fajr time right now is 5:39, so you should change this time maybe weekly. And these are the same. And here we are talking about the end of the day, which is the preferred time for you to go to sleep. For me, I prefer to go to sleep at 10:30 p.m. The first thing is for me to wake up at 5 a.m. Then, for me personally, I prefer to do a home stretching workout. That may take 15 minutes before I go to pray Fajr at mosque, preferably at mosque. Then after I come back home, I should read the morning citations. Then, as I said before, I prefer to start with the hardest task during my day. Usually it is freelance work. So I'm gonna do freelance work, and for example, 14 or 15 minutes before 7:30, I'm gonna prepare and eat my breakfast. After doing so, I prefer to pray, for me personally, I prefer to pray Duha at 7:30 a.m. Why I prefer to pray it at this time? Because after this, I'm gonna go to the local library, so I won't be at home, and I prefer to pray it at home. For you, the Duha time starts 15 minutes after the sunrise and ends, as I think, ends 15 minutes before Dhuhr. So you will have all this time to pray Duha. The idea is this: if you wake up early at 5 a.m., it is very hard for you to keep working from Fajr to Dhuhr without taking a mental break, because there is maybe about 7 hours between Fajr and Dhuhr, and the idea is for you to pray Duha at home, obviously, or at work, to recharge and reboot your mind. You can pray Duha at 9 a.m., at 10, at 11, or you can pray it at 7:30 and pray it again at 9 a.m. The idea is for you to pray Duha whenever you feel like you need a mental reboot. So instead of go and scroll, you should pray Duha instead. So for me personally, after praying Duha and reboots my mind, I'm gonna do the home chores, which are cleaning and organizing my room and bringing Nora home. After this, I prefer to go to the local library to work too. So when I reach the local library, I'm gonna check my social media update to see if there is any news from my clients or friends. Then I'm gonna keep working on freelancing. After that, I prefer to go to the mosque, pray Dhuhr, then go back home, eat lunch, take a 30-minute nap. After this, I prefer to work on content creation, so creating a new YouTube video, because I'm at home. Recording happens at home. After that, I'm gonna pray Asr at mosque, read my afternoon citations, go back to the local library, keep working on freelancing, and after maybe an hour, when I feel like I finished the whole work, I can study for my PhD or study digital art or study whatever course I like. And when Maghrib is close, I'm gonna go to the mosque, pray Maghrib, then go back home. Then after Maghrib, it is preferable for you to start doing the light tasks. So as you can see, when it comes to work, for me personally, work is heavy, and studying for the PhD is heavy too. So I prefer to do these kind of tasks before Maghrib, because I have more physical and mental energy. But after Maghrib, I prefer to do the light tasks. For example, reading a book. Reading a book for me, it is a kind of entertainment. Then I'm gonna do this workout session, then pray Isha at mosque, then come back home and eat dinner. And obviously, I chosen to do the home workouts maybe 30 or 45 minutes before eating dinner. So, you work out and you eat dinner. Then I'm going to update my How We Feel application. And here, for me, I prefer to study things that are enjoyable. So studying digital arts isn't that hard compared to study for the PhD. For me personally, you can study, or you can even read another book, or you can, for example, search about an interesting idea that you think you thought about during the day. Maybe you can see some educational YouTube videos. Do whatever you want. Then I'm going to make tizana, then keep studying digital arts. And before sleep, obviously, I'm going to do some stretching exercises, because it is good for my health. Then I'm going to journal my day at my copy book. Then set the schedule for tomorrow. And at 10:30 p.m., I should go to sleep. So as you can see, this is the perfect scenario I'm aiming for. Let's talk about how this day went. So for this day, to be honest, I slept yesterday at maybe 2:30 a.m. So I put here that I was sleeping, and at 6:30 I woke up. Then I pray Fajr at home, so all the prayers for this day were at home. Then I think I slept again. Then when I set the schedule for this day, it was after preparing lunch. Yeah. For me, since I record all what I do during my day, it wasn't that hard for me to get a solid idea on how or when my time went. So I checked my toggle application, and as you can see, here is the time when I set. So at 11:47 a.m. I set today's schedule. But before this, I was on autopilot because I'm used to do these kind of things. So for example, I slept yesterday at 2:25 a.m. Then wake up to pray Fajr. Then I went to sleep again, and then wake up at 10:50. Then I scrolled on Facebook, which is not good. I don't recommend this, but yeah, this is the reality of how life is going. I searched about some medical advices. Then I did the home chores. Then I had the time to set today's schedule, and after this, I worked on some freelance work. And as you can see, right now I'm creating this YouTube video. Unfortunately, I didn't pray Asr yet, so I should go to pray right now. So yeah, so this is the system I shared with you. And obviously, I'm gonna put the link for this free template in the description of this video. So just make a copy of it and start working on your daily schedule.